Hey everybody, before we get rolling, we wanted to tell you about another podcast you should probably check out, the Sales Experience Podcast, hosted by our friend Jason Cutter. On the Sales Experience Podcast, Jason shares tips and lessons to help you create a sales experience that will turn more prospects into customers. Whether you're new to sales, a veteran, or lead a sales team, if your goal is to impact the lives of your customers, then this podcast is likely for you. Our favorite episode is number 97, Professionals Don't Ask for the Sale. Now, let's get into the show. Welcome back to B2B Growth. I'm Logan Lyles with Sweetfish Media. I'm joined today by a repeat guest. Chris Ronzio is coming back on the show for our 5 Things series. He is the founder and CEO at Trainual. He joined us back on episode 993. Some great advice for training, onboarding, and process best practices. Chris, welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks, Logan. I'm excited.
Absolutely, man. These conversations have been so fun just to get into the heads of some of our guests and figure out what are some of the hacks that they're using, what are some of their favorite apps or tools or things that are helping them achieve, more growth in their professional career, but also personally as well. And I'm excited to dig into your top 5 things because you've got a little bit of a mix of both. So being a process guy, we've got to start out with number 1 on your list being some Gmail hacks you're going to unpack for us today, right?
Yeah. So when you asked for my top 5, it was actually really hard because I feel like I've got my life revolves around hacks. And so to pick just a couple of them was tough. So the things I use every day, Gmail obviously is something I'm looking at every day, but it's the hacks. 2 things in particular that make email manageable for me. So the first is a tool called SaneBox. So what SaneBox does is first, it filters out all the unimportant mail from my inbox. It creates a separate folder. It scans everything that comes in and it decides, is this just a social notification, a receipt, a travel alert, a newsletter? Any of those things get moved into the folder. So the only things that get in my inbox are person-to-person communication. So that's the first thing I love about it. Second thing with SaneBox is they have this feature called Sane Black Hole. And what that is any message that is something I don't want to hear from this sender again, whether it's just spam or it's a newsletter, drag it into the black hole and it forever trains Gmail to ignore that address. So I don't know if you've tried unsubscribing to things, but it does not work. Like things will always come back in. You'll always end up on another list, but not with this feature. So I love that.
That's really cool because, nothing drives me up a wall more. And I understand why people do it, but it's not a great customer experience when you unsubscribe and then you have to fill out a form to unsubscribe and it takes you through 2 clicks. I've noticed that in Gmail now there's been an unsubscribe button, built right into Gmail, not their unsubscribe button. I've tried that, but I haven't seen its effectiveness, but I really like this and it's like a personal assistant built right into Gmail with, AI behind it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's amazing because it keeps stuff from coming in. It reduces the fire hose. And so that's the first thing. But then the second part of Gmail is I'm always trying to empty my inbox. And I give the example of it's like your physical mailbox. You would never go and check the mail at the end of the day and then stuff most of the letters back into your mailbox, right? You take everything out. And so for me, emptying the inbox is important. Gmail has this feature in the settings where you can make the default when you reply to somebody to both send the message and archive it with one button push. And so you switch it to the default where every time you reply to someone, you're sending and archiving, and that letter or that message just disappears from your inbox. So really good time-saving trick.
Oh man, that's really cool. I have not experimented with that. I've been doing some different things with labels. And one of the things I've done recently is you can resort it to where your unreads are always at the top. And so I think a lot of people don't know about that or don't take that step. But these are 2 new things I'm going to definitely try out because I'm all about Gmail plugins that can help me work more efficiently. So number 2 on your list is Profitwell. Tell us why Profitwell made your list of 5 things you can't live without, Chris.
So I've got a SaaS business, of course, and we process all of our transactions through Stripe, credit card transactions. And so Profitwell is our instant KPI dashboard that for a recurring revenue business tells you everything from your average customer value, your lifetime value, your churn percentages, your retention rates, your monthly recurring revenue. Every stat that I want to know and that investors ask me about the business is automated through Profitwell. It's populated. They have a mobile app. They've got the desktop app. So I look at that thing nonstop throughout the day. It's like the dashboard for my business.
Oh man, I love that. I mean, it falls in line with some recommendations I just got. One of my favorite podcasts in my rotation is the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast. And he was talking about making good decisions as a leader is not about getting as much information as possible. It's getting the most important information as quickly as possible. And that quote just stuck in my brain after my walk last night. And it just sounds like Profitwell is helping you do exactly that, man.
Yeah. And it's, you've got leading and lagging indicators and people, everybody
Mhm.
says you need this dashboard, but you don't know what to put on it. And so
Yeah.
signing up for Profitwell, first, it's free. And second of all, they put all the stuff you need to know on it. So it's really easy to get started. And you can see, how many trials you've got coming in, what they're converting at. And it really, to me, is the conversation opener for all of my one-on-ones with our department leaders.
I love it, man. All right. Number 3 on your list of 5 things you can't live without is another app that's on your phone consistently you use on a regular basis.
Yeah, so this one's called SleepCycle. And it sounds a little weird if no one's used this before, but what it is it's an app where you turn the microphone on and it listens to you sleep to watch how you're sleeping throughout the night. And it tells you the quality of your sleep, the length of your sleep, the deviation from when you normally go to bed and when you normally wake up. But it also plays music or like soothing sounds to help you fall asleep, like white noise or, leaves blowing in the wind, that sort of thing. And what I love the most is I use this feature that it wakes you up in the 30-minute window based on when you're in the lightest part of your sleep cycle. So if I need to be up by 5:30, let's say, it'll set an alarm from 5 to 5:30 to wake me up when I'm coming out of a deep sleep so that I wake up happy and I'm not, jostled awake by this alarm.
Dude, you're just dropping gold nugget after gold nugget today because I feel like every morning I wake up and it's like I must be out of rhythm because my kids are ones that just hit the ground running every morning and that has just never been me. But we've had people recommend Headspace and another sleep or meditation. It was the Calm app
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Lindsay Cornway recently. So just adding to our list here of great apps that can help people be more productive by getting better sleep and waking up on the right note. Number 4 and 5 are more on the personal side. Tell us about what number 4 is on your list, Chris.
So number 4 top thing or favorite thing is actually an annual planning exercise that I do with my wife every year. So just in the same way that you'd plan for the business, you might do a retreat, you might do a SWOT analysis, you might take all your leaders and plan out your goals for the year. I do the same thing with my wife. And we follow this format from a book by Darren Hardy called Living Your Best Year Ever. So I recommend everyone get the book or maybe get the PDF so you can download it, print it, and use this every year. But it takes you through an exercise of going through gratitude and the influences that you've had over the last year, your top accomplishments, what you need to start and stop and keep doing. You rate your life over these 10 areas and 100 plus different questions. And it's such a great exercise for percolating ideas for what you want to change this year. And so doing that with my wife 6 years in a row now has been just the cornerstone to us hitting every family personal goal that we've had. So highly recommend it.
Oh, I love it, man. That is fantastic. I mean, I think a lot of us just wouldn't imagine our businesses without, our annual leadership team retreats or quarterly OKR sessions or however you kind of structure that planning. And we don't often go to our family life with that sort of intentionality. And I think there are some people who are putting out some great content around this. If that's something that's top of mind for you, I'd recommend following Carlos Hidalgo as well as Sangram Vajre on LinkedIn. So just shout out to those guys that are putting out content about being intentional, which it sounds like you are here as well. And thanks for the book recommendation, Chris. That's awesome. All right. Number 5 on your list is something very simple, but it's something you cannot live without, right?
Yes, can't live without laughing and having fun. So this is probably the lamest of recommendations you'll ever have. Because it's not an app, it's not tangible. But as I was walking through the office and when you sent over the questionnaire, the thing to get me, the thought provoking, our employees are telling jokes and laughing, and 3 people got trapped inside a phone booth that we just got installed, and we were just generally
What?
having fun.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere in the office is fun. We've got
Yeah.
not that it's got to be foosball tables and all this stuff, but it's just the personality of the company goes back to the people that work at the company. And so it's
Yeah.
just a reminder for everyone to smile, have fun, enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, that is a great note to end things on today. Chris, thank you so much for sharing some tips and tricks, tools, and just good reminders with listeners today. If anybody listening to this isn't yet connected with you, what's the best way for them to reach out or stay connected with you, man?
Three things: YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Chris Ronzio at all of them. So just youtube.com/Chris Ronzio, and find me on the others to engage more.
Awesome. And definitely we will link to Chris's previous appearance on the show, episode 993. Just remember these things: do it, document it, delegate it. Go check out that episode for some more. Chris, this has been a ton of fun. Thanks for being on the show again, man.
Absolutely. Thanks, Logan.
I hate it when podcasts incessantly ask their listeners for reviews, but I get why they do it, because reviews are enormously helpful when you're trying to grow a podcast audience. So here's what we decided to do. If you leave a review for B2B Growth in Apple Podcasts and email me a screenshot of the review to james@sweetfishmedia.com, I'll send you a signed copy of my new book, Content-Based Networking: How to Instantly Connect with Anyone You Want to Know. We get a review, you get a free book. We both win.